Hello, Mr. Flying Bird. Today I'm going to talk to you about Hofstede's cultural dimensions. So, first off, a little bit about Hofstede. Hofstede was a Dutch social psychologist. He was a former employee of IBM, where he was able to gather over 100,000 surveys, collect all this data from 40 different nations, and really collect all of his findings, and was able to divide the dimensions of culture into 5 groups. So, first off, power distance index basically explains how there are different classes and how well are you able to communicate with each class. A high degree of power distance would be more accepting of the power division. A good example would be India's caste system. When you're born into a high class, that is your birthright. You stay in the upper class and you never leave it. Your children will be part of it as well. And comparatively to if you're in the lower division, or in the lower class, in India's caste system, then you stay in the lower class. You never have hopes of becoming middle or even upper, and you accept it. You understand your role in your culture. A low degree of power distance would involve less stiffness and more ease of power flow. A good example would be the United States. We have different classes, and it is difficult to go from the lower to the upper, but there is that possibility, and hard work and effort. Individualism versus collectivism. Who are you looking out for? Are you looking out for yourself, or are you looking out for the group? A high degree of this dimension would be the individualism part, where you are only looking out for yourself. And you have very little concern about what your team is doing. And then a lower degree of this would be the collectivism, where it's more Japanese culture style, where you are trying to help out your team and grow as a team and leave no man behind. Masculinity versus femininity. Tough versus tender. High degree of this would be masculinity. You're always looking out to achieve more, be rewarded, assert yourself. And these are within the career paths that you would choose. A low degree of this would be on the femininity side, where you are more willing to cooperate and care for others and look out for the overall quality of life. A good example of a masculine career would be plumbing, engineering, a lawyer. Feminine examples, career examples would be obstetrician, HR, nursing. Uncertainty and avoidance index. A high degree of this would be you're uncomfortable with uncertainty and change. You want to stick with the status quo. Comparatively to a low degree of uncertainty avoidance, you are more ambitious to changing things, making risky decisions, and essentially go with the flow. Confucian dynamism. Where is your perspective? Long-term or short-term? A high degree of this would be on the long term, where you value your facade, you're open to traditions and your culture, and do unto the others as they would do unto you. If somebody's willing to grant you a favor or a gift, you're more than willing to return it. A low degree of this would be focusing more on the individual. You're looking for the short term. You're hoping to understand how your career or your job works. You want to learn as much as possible and then move on to a new company. Here's a great illustration of how the dimensions work and how it's on a scale of 1 to 100 for each dimension. And great illustration overall. Mr. Flying Bird, I hope you have some safe travels, and